What is up, my friends? Welcome back. Happy Monday. We are here with some more CGL multi-tier tournament. A couple of incredible matches coming at you tonight. As a little later on, we're going to head to T4 to see a couple of undefeated teams go toe-to-toe. Fight it out for first place. But first, we've got Big Duck Energy looking to maintain their perfect record. Duskerity looking to clinch that spot into the postseason.
Yep. Looking at Duskerity coming in, they are on 6-1. And I believe you told me that they have a bye next week. So this is actually their last live game of the season. So they want to go out with a bang and, end up with a 8-1 record. That would be fantastic going into the playoffs, especially for their seeding. But on the other side, Big Duck Energy coming in on 7-0. Not very many maps lost across the entirety of the season. They are the pantheon up top of their division here in Tier 2, and we are looking for just a hell of a match tonight. I've heard so much from the teams, and I've just kept putting out the disclaimer. Don't tell me the score. Don't tell me the score. Don't tell me anything. I want to be surprised. If you do, I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to find you. I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
So,
we like to cast fresh. we like to
Yes.
cast fresh. We don't want to know the outcome. We wanna be right there in the moment with these exciting series, these exciting matches that we've got here for you tonight. Let's take a look at our standings as we're headed into week 8. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. And it's like correction, Dexterity 5-2 according to what I've got here. Big shout out to Munch and Carrot here for putting together these standings for us. But yeah, you can see Big Duck Energy right there at the top of the pack, and looking to keep that perfect streak going. If Duskerity, as you said though, if they can close it out here, they will finish 7-2 on the season. So it's looking to get in. It's a tight race there for that 4th slot. Yeah, I mean right down here in these last 2 weeks, these games are going to be clutch.
they are absolutely going to be clutch, my friend, and every single map point counts. That's something that I've always said here in the CGL, is that it doesn't matter what your overall record is, especially with so many teams, kind of bottlenecking at the top. It matters what your map differential is. So every single map you have to go 100% on. We are going into week 9 after we get done with these 2 matches tonight. We're on week 9. I mean, some week 9 matches have already been played, I think, today, depending on what division. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, we're here. This is the final stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Playoffs will start in about 14 days from today.
Yeah,
so
because there'll be a week break between the end of the regular season and before we get into playoffs. So yeah, playoffs are right around the corner. And
So,
these
it's
last
all
2
important.
weeks super important. I mean, this last 2 matches of week 8, and then boom into our final week. And I mean,
indeed.
so beforehand, you were talking to some of our teams, and speaking of Atomic, you mentioned something that I found incredibly fascinating, and something we're going to be keeping an eye on all day, was the off tank matchup. And
He actually rated Duskerity's Axel, DSK Axel, number 2, ahead of his own Still Crowd, number 3, as far as the rankings for tier 2 off tanks across the entire division. So, man, that's a hell of an honor. That's a hell of a show of respect between the 2 teams. So big on them for putting that out there. I'm interested. I mean, we've seen Still Crowd already once this season, and they put up a fantastic performance. So let's see what it brings out, because if Axel's better than me as a flex tanker, I'm definitely interested to see what Axel brings to the board here.
we'll be keeping a sharp eye on that off tank battle. I think we'll be focused in. We'll zoom in on that one when we get a chance. I have a feeling it's going to play a big role. The off tank's so important in the tier 2 seat. A lot of brawl prominent in tier 2, and your off tank, not only your hero choices, but the amount of value you can get out of it largely dictates fight wins, ult usage. We'll be keeping a sharp eye on all of those things as we take a look at our map pool for week number 8. We are going to start off on Nepal, Hollywood, your hybrid, Hanamura, your assault, and Havana, your escort map, with Lijiang Tower, the tiebreaker in week 8. So it's all the H maps here in our next to last week of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a banger last night with a draw on Hanamura in the tier 2 division. I mean, craziness was abound last night, and I mean, if that's anything to go off of last night's match, this match should be just as powerful, just as many fireworks going off. But without further ado, my friend, let us get into it.
Sounds like a winner. We head into our opening map. And yeah, if you missed last night's match between No One and Hateful 88, it's in my VODs. I highly recommend you go check it out. Fantastic matchup between two undefeated teams in the one division of Tier 2. Mm-hmm. This is in the third division. So many Tier 2 teams. I mean, that's not the right scene. That was just us again. Psych! All right, here we go. We're headed in. And we're going to start off on Shrine. But the Tier 2 is so competitive. I mean, there's just so many good teams competing in Tier 2. Playoffs are going to be absolutely insane. Duskerity, hoping that they can make it there, coming out of the gate with the Ryan Zarya, using the sim to get an early advantage and claim some point presence right out of the gate. But Atomic already finding first blood.
Yeah, I mean, he's really known for having a decent wrecking ball right now, but any cookie cam just spraying into the back line of Duskerity Void, and they're just claiming so much space. But Axel, right out the gate, super high charge right now, getting lots of value with the bubbles. They're probably not going to get the first capture here, but you do got the build up for this Zarya. I think that Atomic is going to be watching out very closely for the opposite off tank. As I said before, lots of respect between the two teams here, and I'm definitely loving that aspect of this season right now. I've seen a lot of teams really loving on each other, you know, showing respect, not only socially, but in the Discord chats as well.
As we see Tree swap over to the Soldier to try to deal with Cookie Cam in the sky, and immediately gets checked. It's going to get rezzed up, but you know that it's going to be in the mine. It's going to be Shots actually eventually dealing with the Pharah, also getting rezzed. But in the interim, backwards moves in, is able to pick up the Mercy. Axel finds one, but Walter answers right back. And BDE are holding on this point, but just barely. And yeah, about to say, they're looking a little vulnerable. Axel's going to move in, find a pair of kills, make that 3 for Axel. And Duskerity will flip this point, but there's still a wrecking ball to contend with.
Yeah, and then Big Anti coming in from Fluffy as well. You know, the sustain right now is pretty darn good, and they've swapped over to a Genji. Any cookie cam going off the far, bringing in something to deflect some damage back going in, but the flip does come through at 60%. The real good thing there is that they didn't blow any ultimates, so, you know, they've got ultimates online ready to go. Atomic Man swapping off the Wrecking Ball, going to the Reinhardt now, so pure brawl going forward, but he's going to be so far behind in that Shatter battle. He's going to, you know, have to really watch his pathing, how he goes through.
Deadeye's going to find one nano boost into Atomic as they make their way on a point. Walter's going to pick up a second while Duskerity was distracted by the big glowing Reinhardt. Now just shielding up and protecting while the rest of the team cleans up. DPS doing work for BDE as they already have half of Duskerity back in spawn, and the flip will come right back through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they only got 37% as well. That was a pretty emphatic retake of the point, just using the Deadeye to start the aggression in, and then the Nano just took everybody out of range, and he just had nowhere else to go. So big flip for them, crossing on 75% here. 4 ultimates ready to go. You got to let loose with this Graviton Surge sometime, Axel.
Both Graviton Surge ready to go, and it's going to be Steel Crowd dropping theirs first. And Matrix out, as well as Attack Visor, and Tree's able to find one with it already. But here comes the Blade from the other side, trying to counter back. The deflect cuts Time Tree down to size. Atomic's going to get rezzed up, so both Reinhardts are back and respond to the wonderful Shatter. Back on his feet, decides everybody else needs to be flat on their back. And Atomic might have just sealed the deal here at our opening round with that fantastic Shatter. Walter able to clean up. You do still have a Mercy and Shots on this McCree, trying to keep Duskerity in this fight, but they're fighting against that overtime wick.
They absolutely are. I mean, Shots is really getting a lot of value over here on this McCree, keeping kept alive. Big!
Oh, this is gonna be big! Oh, and almost gets Atomic as well. The double flash fan, and Atomic will eventually fall. What a hold! Shot staying in this fight, able to get up that Deadeye, and then finds the perfect angle and the perfect kills. Falls over the beautiful kill onto Cookie Cam. Excellent display from Shots on the McCree.
Big props to Niku Fury on the Mercy there, using the Guardian Angel to perfection there, and just bouncing out of the way of the damage that was coming in. I mean, there was a Tracer running around there too in the form of any Cookie Cam. We've seen 3 heroes from this player so far, and they are absolutely having a wonderful time here, crossing 55%. You do have the Guardian Age or the Valkyrie ready to go. Shatter about ready for both Reinhardts. What I'm really looking for, Nano Grab.
Yep, and all of the above ready to go. Atomic's going to win the front line war, drops the Shatter down, but I believe that got interrupted. I think a flashbang interrupted the Shatter. Oh, but a huge anti over the Graviton Surge, and Duskerity are in trouble. Shots is trying to hang on, trying to bring it back. Lands the flashbang. The follow-up is there from Imtree, who went back to the sim, got back to the fight late, but it was in time to have a big impact. And Duskerity are bringing this thing back, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, depending on if Nico can get back in time, maybe they might be able to res up the shots, but no, it's a little bit too late. Any cookie cams. Pulse Bomb in hand. Doesn't find any joy out of that. Looking at Axel now, bringing out the Wrecking Ball. Almost has mines on ready. Mines online already. Here's the Deadeye coming out. Maybe crack the shield.
Atomic is gonna get the nano boost. That fades. Backwards trying to pursue, but Ada stun. Walter does end up going down with the process. Kimpo in there to save their Reinhardt with a beautiful shot. Mines out, able to find 1. Axel finds 2 more after that. Make it 3. Huge plays from Axel, and that's going to do it. Big individual performance, and Duskerity take round 1.
Wow. That was absolutely nuts. And just that late, just desperation hold from Shots and Niku Fury. You've got to give full props to Niku there on the Mercy. Being able to stay alive, being able to flip the point, and then the rotations of ultimates that came out from Duskerity Void actually held them in good stead, and they just sustained. They out-sustained important swaps coming through. Imtree really bringing out the best in that Symmetra. Just Burr goes Symmetra with that microwave beam, and they had no answer for it.
Big play from Shots, too. They could have lost that map right there if Shots didn't manage to stay alive and then come back with that huge Deadeye. That was the turning point of the round for me, and looking to keep that up as both Walter and Shots will have a little bit of a showdown at the OK Corral, both bringing the Cowboy to the battle.
Yeah, I mean, will we see an electric Cowboy? That's the real question here. I do like the fact that we've got Eddie Cookie Cam on this soldier. You know, getting that long range poke in there and also the spot healing that he provides. Really love that. You know, they can come back and get a little bit of a top off. But Axel already taking Still Crowd out of his mech. That is a +1 to Duskerity Void.
Yeah, coming out on the Hog and immediately finding value. Cookie Cam is going to find one of their own. It's a 5v5, but Duskerity grabbed the objective. A big hook takes Fluffy out of the fight, and with it goes much of the sustain. BDE taking a very split approach on this, and it did not work this time.
It really didn't, you know, and they're basically ignoring Atomic Man right now. On this Wrecking Ball, but he is making himself known to the members of Duskerity Void, taking him down to 1 health. A great hook coming in from DSK. Gets stunned out of the finishing move there, but takes Steelcrow out of his mech. There's a lot of trading going back and forth here. These antis coming in from Fluffy that we haven't mentioned yet are absolutely massive.
That was a good win there. The Deadeye takes out the Mercy, and Walter Diff living up to the name, as we did get a little bit of our Cowboy duel in the back line. And it looks like that's going to turn it around. The little flash headshot to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, look at just the percentages gained there by both McCree's. McCree's was having just a better time. Walter Diff indeed. But you're going to have Tyre and Deadeye coming up on this recontest here, coming from Duskerity Void. Also, the sound barrier might be able to keep him up through the mid-fight.
Imagine this Tyre will start things off. No, they're just going to get aggressive. As the Trees head back to point to try to help deal with the Wrecking Ball, as Atomic Man's throwing all the mines down, trying to prevent anybody from claiming their objective. Look at that positioning. Tree? What was that? Sitting up on top of the ledge there. Interesting little spot. Still Crowd's going to find a kill after swapping over to the Sigma. But Tree still hanging out on this point. Flashbang from the back, but Walter can't quite find the final blow. Atomic Man going in, see if they can deal with Tree, but Tree is still just sticking around, has been hanging out on this point forever, and will eventually help him claim the objective. Walter does eventually find that kill, but Duskerity are now building percentage.
Yeah, I mean, building percentage once again. Tree still has that tire in hand, though. That is a big thing that we need to point out here. Nice kill on Atomic. That's a big source of your disruption out of the way. Looking at Still Crowd, a 50% to a Gravitic Flux, but you've got 3 ultimates online for Duskerity Void to hold this point. I'm honestly looking, oh gosh, I mean, you can go Electric Cowboy with this Nano. Maybe start with the Sound Barrier to go in on tempo. Tac Maester is also available.
And it's going to take down the tire. And it gets the nano, so that is a lot of damage coming out with that auto aim. He's going to have to check the flank and is not really able to put much forward. Shatter had come through from the other side and backwards able to push in and grab the Ana out of the picture. Fluffy is down, and I mean, once again, it's just sustain gone. Walter in a very odd position, kind of behind enemy lines here. Was looking to get some of the squishies. Here comes Atomic to bail him out. What a play. Walter makes it back onto the right side. No, gets caught in the corner, taken down as the overtime wick starts to burn. Cookie Ham circled all the way around as well. And BDE continue to try this split composition, continue to try to surround the pseudo brawl comp that Duskerity have brought to the table, but they're really not finding success. A nice boop is going to send Still Crowd into the depths below. Atomic is going to send themselves down into the depths below. And that is going to do it. Duskerity, our 5-2 team, starting off strong with a 2-0 win on Nepal.
Boy, I mean, it was touch and go for both teams. They're both DPS squads, popping off for their respective teams. I really like what I'm seeing out of Duskerity Void. You know, they were not afraid to go over and mirror the ball. And actually forcing off, forcing off of a off tank for BDE and Still Crowd, making them go to the Sigma there on Sanctum. And man, I think we might have a long-term showdown at the OK Corral today because Walter Diff and Shots are trading blow for blow. Big haymakers coming from both of them, getting value out of the Deadeye with all the shielding going on around, the adapter shielding as well. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. I think that having the Mercy on the field, I'm usually not a fan of it. Let's be honest. I just think that, you know, there's better healers out there that you can go this singular healing, but the res, especially King of the Hill, especially the control map, getting that player back up that fast, I think that was just a little bit of an advantage to Duskerity Void there. So we'll see going forward when we get more into our escort maps, more into our point maps. We'll see if they continue to run that, or do they go to more of a traditional, more quote-unquote meta healer right now?
You know, res is pretty valuable, and it is circumstantial. I do agree with you. The raw healing output is just not quite the same as, you know, the Ana that we were seeing on the other side. But, you know, you stay mobile. You're able to kind of move with the wrecking ball, and you're able to correct any mistakes that do happen to come through. So, I mean, it worked there. Like you say, will it? Yeah, exactly. Will it continue to find value? That's the question. As we will head to Hollywood here for map number 2. Let me get some things sorted out prod-wise.
But, I mean, even if you run the McCree here again, I mean, you could bring out an Ashe as well. I know she's gotten the ADS nerf, but I mean, it's still a lot of damage, especially if you throw a Mercy on top of her. I mean, that is still a lot of damage being pumped your way, especially with the AoE, with the Dynamite. Bob is still a beautiful ultimate to contest a point or really clear a point off if you need to do it. So, you know, there are value. There are, you know, pros and cons to everything. I just like the fact that McCree has come back into fashion here, especially running it in conjunction with an Ana. If you get the flashbang in there and you get, you know, an anti-target, that's a quick kill and lots of ultimate generated there. So, boy, I'm liking where the Cowboy is right now. I'm liking when it's run in conjunction with the Ana. I think that, you know, if we see a Zen come out, that's even more on top of that. We'll just see what they do, because I'm also liking the fact that they're speeding their teams around with the Lucio. The sound barriers were actually pretty damn good in that first control map from both sides. In the main tank battle, I mean, really, Atomic and Backward, it was back and forth between them. So we'll see what they do moving forward here for both sides. But I think that the off tank battle, neck and neck, just as we saw. I think Axel had that little bit more, especially with the Roadhog pick on Sanctum.
I mean, Axel pulled out 3 different heroes and looked really good on all 3 of them. The Zarya, the Wrecking Ball, and the Hog all found value. So, I mean, showing their versatility as well as their mechanics. And, yeah, that's it. That's going to be a point of contention all series long. I think you are 100% correct on that one. We highlighted at the start of the series. And I expect that fight to be neck and neck as we move into Hollywood, move into map number 2.
And we're going to see BDE come out onto the defense here. Looks like we're going to get a standard brawl with double sniper. And then Ana and Mercy to keep the team up. And I really do like Fluffy. There were some serious anti-nades in there. Just wasn't the follow-up at points. And I know they were trying to keep their team into it and really trying to, be aggressive with the nade usage. I don't think that the sustain was not necessarily a problem there. I just think that the aggression being shown by Duskerity Void and, looking at Axel in that off-tank department, that was a bit of a difference there.
Well, and a little bit of pathing on Sanctum. They kept trying to surround and flank, and that makes life difficult on your healers a lot of the time. You're not able to get the same amount of sustain as if you're staying on, in a nice pile, but you also, get to work multiple angles. So we'll see if they continue to try to work the flanks. Right now, we got Duskerity working the portal. Directly onto the point they go, but immediately the anti-nade comes through. Fluffy finding value right out of the gate. The follow-up is there this time.
With a 3K, holy crap!
There's 4.
Because of 1 anti-nade. 5? No, 4. Okay, we'll go. But still. Also, just a note, Munching put up a prediction poll using channel points here. Thank you, Carrot. You're a gem beyond words. Thank you for modding for us tonight and kind of leading the pack here and hurting all those cats for tier 2.
Tree making a swap going over to the Pharah as they make a second attempt. They're going to forgo the sim strats this time. And Cookie Cream, though, with a priority pick right out of the gate. It was far enough back it's going to get res, but Atomic was already found backward. And Axel and Neon. Are you going to get the Mercy too? Of course you are. Atomic Man with another 4K. Holy cow.
On the back of another anti-nade. It's Fluffy again. Just absolutely showing up and showing out. Getting good value here, and it's not a control map. Now, they know that the pressure's coming into them, so they can sit back there and toss it in there around the shielding.
This is flank shattered. Atomic Man. Be very, very quiet. Be very, very quiet. Uh-oh, backward sees it.
He knows.
They checked it. So Atomic's got to get out. The bubble was ready, though. Still corral, but prepared. Dragon's coming out now. They're not going to wait for the grab. They're just going to go ahead and buy a little bit of space. May have been used to ensure Atomic Man could get out safely. So, I mean, that could have actually turned around to bite BDE. Because now they don't have the big wombo combo as a win condition. They do still have quite the ult advantage. And MT6 is now going to duplicate the Ashe after taking the Pharah out of the sky. First ult out. Looking, well, doesn't quite win that Ashe duel. The shots is able to land the headshots, get rid of the doppelganger. Meanwhile, Duskerity looping around up top. Atomic Shatter gets blocked and bubbled. All the protection from the tanks. Backwards now has a Shatter of their own as the two Reinhardts go hammer to hammer here on top of point A. Shots manages to pick up 2 kills in the interim, though, before finally getting taken out. Now, the Ana will get res, but there's a Bob on point and a big man advantage for Duskerity.
Absolutely, and I think that the res will come through for Shots, so Shots will be able to come back and help contest this point, but you've got a Zarya on top of the high ground over on the right side, and really looking in to get the damage there, but Shots picking up lots of value with the Viper there, and that will be point A. Very nicely done. Still a pretty good amount of hold there from BDE, 330 to progress through the streets phase, but you've got 3 ultimates ready to go. Looking for Axel to really build up towards this Graviton Surge moving forward. If you're looking from the other side, maybe MT Splice really can get a little bit more poke value in from this Echo. We're looking to see the value being shown there.
At the very least, is keeping Tree in check in the skies, not allowing the Pharah to have free reign up above. And right there, you see Splice get the better of Tree once again. And it's going to move down to protect the body so there's no res. Graviton Surge on the front line, and we're talking about taken out. And Dragons are combined with it this time, netting a pair of kills and winning the fight for Big Duck Energy.
Just got sick to my stomach, too, with all that carnage there. That was a lot of damage coming out. Nice focusing from MT6. but gets taken down. But they do get the Mercy in the trade. So that can probably be rezzed up. Nice little shoutouts or res there coming from Renji. And, you know, there's a good amount of hold here. The ultimate's still online for the defense as well. So they're going to have a hard time pathing through this area.
I feel like Backward and Tree have been holding their ults for quite a while. Like, you got to make a plan to use them. There's the Ant Matrix to start things off. There's the Barrage. And it's going to be a trade, but Fluffy goes down. Now, Rez should be back online here for Renji. Maybe, okay, there it is. The Ana back in the battle, BDE back in control on this defense as Splice uses the duplicate onto the Reinhardt to close things out.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
There you go.
Splice. Hello? That's just absolutely filthy, showing zero respect. I thought you guys respected each other. That was showing zero respect there, my friends. But I highly approve of it as well. So going into this next fight, I mean, still, you've got Shattered, you've got the Graviton Surge, and Valkyrie. Not much else to show. Tree going over to the Reaper, trying to burn down these tanks.
Graviton Surge out for Axel. Bionade over the top is keeping Atomic alive. He's going to respond with a Shatter. That's going to find Tree with the counter Shatter a little bit fatter. That's going to pick up 3 in the back, and the kills come through. Cam able to follow up with that. He's going to toss the Dragons down after picking up a pair and keep their team in this fight. Beautiful play as Cam was able to avoid that Shatter and respond beautifully.
I think it's a lack of focus fire coming out of Duskerity right now. I think that BDE, once there is a beat on somebody, they are moving in, and they're moving in with a quickness and just getting on top of any kind of healing that might come out. Any kind of sustain that Duskerity is trying to do right now is absolutely being shot down. They're being focused so hard that they can't even breathe. They're having a hard time even getting out beneath the archway here.
And they just have a Deadeye to work with in 30 seconds on the clock. Advantage, BDE. Could Duskerity break this open and go up to series point? They're going to go and throw the Deadeye down early, but there's nothing to be found. Coalescence now coming out, but Atomic Man is nanoed up. There's a Graviton Surge on the field. That's a big blue Reinhardt pushing in, swinging into the pack. The Shatter comes through, though, and Atomic Man doesn't get that shield up in time. Atomic goes down. The res comes through, though. The whole hog used from Splice's duplicate whole Roadhog. Able to keep Duskerity at bay, protects the res, protects the cart, and protects this defense for Big Duck Energy.
Can we say it's a fluffy difference right now? Would that be a thing? I think it would be a thing. Because they're just getting so much value on this Ana right now. And I think it's just a compositional difference right now. They're just not getting enough into the range of it. And I mean, they're not dealing with Cookie Cam on this Hanzo whatsoever. I mean, shots should have been trying to check him, but I mean, the long range sniper coming out from any Cookie Cam, I think that Fluffy and any Cookie Cam, definitely the hard carries in that fight. They've got to watch their long-range poke. They've got to find the sightlines. They've got to get in there and really challenge that long-range poke coming in from any Cookie Cam, because he was uncontested for pretty much the entirety of that second point.
And I think that was the initial idea, perhaps with the Pharah, is to be able to put, you know, some pressure down in the back line. Hanzo can deal with it, particularly with the newly buffed Storm Arrows, but, you know, it's not quite the same as having an Ashe or something. So, but then the swap to the Reaper, I mean, that is very indicative that Duskerity's focus has switched to the front line, and it just meant Cookie Cam went completely uncontested.
Also another person that went completely, really uncontested for the most part, and that was Splice. The sub that came in here for map number 2 here in Hollywood, and they just absolutely popped off. And they just had a wonderful time duplicating whatever they wanted to. And we saw the value out of the duplicates. We saw double Shatter come on the first time that we saw we saw the Ashe come out, didn't get the value there. But then we saw the Reinhardt with a double Shatter. And then we saw them duplicate the Roadhog and got her whole hog and just completely push the whole back line back beyond where the car sits right now. So DPS for BDE right now, kind of the difference makers. Still, Atomic Man was going ham as well. I think Fluffy honestly was the carry for them there with the anti-nades and the nanos.
Speaking of subs, we didn't get a chance to mention, but Neon Y has come into the series for Kimpo as well. It's why we're seeing that BAP. And I mean, some decent immortality fields, but they weren't placed well enough so that they got destroyed, especially during that big wombo combo that could have saved them. Early pick will get rezzed here as Atomic kind of bit off more than he can chew on the front line. No changes out of composition, really, from either side. We are going to see Ein Tree on the Soldier.
The 3-man anti coming in from Fluffy, almost 50% already to Nano. That's going to be so that we're going to have to be looking for here moving forward.
On the high ground, Cookie Cam lands one of those arrows. Stillcrowd able to finish off the kill. Splice does go down on the approach, 5v5 on the objective. Both teams missing a DPS. Atomic going in deep with the charge. Gets the bubbles, going and swinging further. Backwards is in trouble. Health bar at 1, and there's no healer to be seen, but the shatter comes through! Oh, but it's not enough. Stillcrowd right there, protecting Atomic every step of the way. Comes in with a 3-piece during that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's just beautiful, frontline play coming from both of them. Stillcrowd with the last second bubble that saved him, and I mean 5-10 going through the next point. You've only got to just get a little bit through the archway. That you've got to pull out all the stops. You've got to get aggressive. You've got to make sure that your pathing and your lines of sight are correct here. Otherwise, this is going to be a tie series here, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, this is very difficult for Duskerity to even approach. I'm not even sure they're going to. Okay, box of victory though. Right there, the shatter's fast though. That's 3. The grab on top. And like I was saying, Duskerity are going to struggle to even get close. They were forced to play so far forward. They were just running into the welcoming arms of Big Duck Energy, who are happy to oblige them with a pair of huge tank ultimates. They will take Hollywood and tie up our series.
I got to say once again, Fluffy coming in clutch there as well. Through the anti, once he shattered, through the data in on top, then you got the grab on that. That was easy pickings for the members of BDE. And they have turned the fortune in their favor and turned the momentum into their favor as well. Our series is tied up 1-1. Pretty good action so far, Bullskunk, but we're going to take a quick little break and get some production stuff out of the way. We will be back with you in just a few moments.
We're all tied up in the half here in this Tier 2 matchup between Big Duck Energy and Duskerity Void. The undefeated team looking really strong on Hollywood. And, I mean, the front line led by Atomic, popping off on defense and empowered by that excellent on a play out of Fluffy.
Yeah, we were just talking about that and just popping off there on Hollywood. You know, the substitute coming in also, Splice, had a really dominant performance on that Echo. I thought the first duplicate was a little weak. We mentioned that, maybe just not having the sightlines and the same support as their opposite shots did. But the other duplicates were absolutely massive and really pushed Duskerity Void to a point where they almost weren't able to come out of their spawn. And they didn't get overly aggressive. They didn't go too far. They went just far enough, and then they pulled back around to the payload, and they just waited for Duskerity Void to come in. Very smart play, very smart positioning, and very smart usage of their ultimates. So their ultimate rotation there was actually quite key. I think, honestly, if I'm looking at it from, a macro view, I think that what they were trying to run against the defense of BDE just wasn't working. You can't run the McCree if you're not going to get the value onto that Echo. And nobody challenged any cookie cam on the Hanzo. So those are two things that they're going to have to focus on moving forward is, not only recognizing the threat and recognizing the win condition there and taking out the aerial threat and the long range sniper of the archer there, but also, just making sure that you're recognizing the entire field. You can't just make it a frontline battle. You have to make it a 360 full degree view of the battle to know how you're going to win, because it just looked like they were just lemmings going off of a cliff, throwing themselves into BDE's defense, and they had nowhere to go.
I mean, if you're going to play Brawl on Hollywood, that's the way to do it. That smart positioning you're talking about from BDE's defense, as they're able to just hold those two front chokes. And perhaps a little bit of pathing could have been in order. Maybe looping around the right side might have helped. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was the DPS popping off on that defense for sure. I'd like to go back and kind of, you touched on the duplicate choices, and I think that's a very interesting thing to touch on. Because we saw the Ashe initially, which was the one, that didn't quite pan out. But then we saw a very smart Reinhardt and then a Hog. And it was choice. It was excellent decision making both times to grab the right tank to do what needed to be done in that moment. The Reinhardt used to help clean up on the back of the fight. The Hog used to keep everybody off, protected a res that came through to get Fluffy back in the fight. Really smart duplicate choices coming through on that map.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the play of Splice there. So, we're going to Hanamura. This will present its own series of challenges, and if we hold true to what we've seen so far with our matches this week, hopefully we will see a side change here. Hopefully we'll see Duskerity Void onto the defense of Hanamura, but I mean that's got to deflate them a little bit. I mean they took a little bit of time to take point A, and then they thought they were going to have a serene stroll through the streets of Hollywood, but Nene said BDE they really drew their line in the sand. And I brought the Brawl comp with that extra range. I think the extra poke coming in, like I said, from Splice and from any cookie cam, you had the long range of the Archer, you had the mid-range poke of the sticky bombs and just the primary fire, and then, swooping in with the finishing beam. We saw quite a few finishing beam kills as well. So Splice using the full utility of Echo to their advantage. I was very impressed. Looking at the teams coming in right now, we do see the side swap. So we will see Duskerity Void in the blue jerseys here. Andrew somebody that we know from MTT 6 and 7, coming in place of, who is the
it's Tree going to main tank, and Anderson coming into the DPS role.
So who went out? It looks like a backward went out.
Yeah.
Yeah, backward went out. Tree playing Reinhardt here. Bat Mercy defense, not necessarily a bad thing, but looking for the other side. Maybe a Bastion Symmetra strat. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Looks a little cheesy. Looks a little cheesy here, Billy. As we also had Kempo coming back into the support role for Neon Y. Duskerity's defense. The teleporter just kind of went up to the high ground and everybody fell off of it. So a little bit of an ill-placed teleporter, but Cam gets in a position a little late because of it and is going to get burned down. It gave plenty of time for Duskerity to kind of prep for it, get set. The res comes through, but Anderson is able to punish the Mercy. So that is off the table, and this defense with a strong start on Hollywood.
Indeed, but they still have the teleporter up. They haven't dealt with that, so that's going to be able to get them back into that high position in a hurry. And now, they'll be calling, press forward when you go through the Symmetra teleporter. Early app matrix coming through. That's going to spell a lot of damage for Cookie Cam. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, that's a 3 cam. That's 960 DPS coming out of that Bastion. That is absolutely something you do not want to mess with. And it's going to be a quick point A coming through. They'll have, about 5.5 minutes on the time bank.
Yeah, I mean, a very different looking double shield variant, putting the static shielding of Arista just to protect any Cookie Cam on that Bastion. And, the mobile shielding for Atomic Man to be able to get up into the faces of Duskerity. And yeah, 5:32 going into point B. You have got 4 ultimates coming into it. But you will have the Deadeye for the defense. And, depending on where Andrewson sets up, you may even be able to put it through the amp matrix of Kenpo.
Oh, look at this. This is going to be nasty. They're trying to go up to the high ground. Oh, they just make it to the front. They don't quite get on top of the shrine itself. But Cam is still going to go ahead and drop down that tank configuration. Anderson with the Deadeye from above. Finds a pair through the photon barrier. It does devalue the amp matrix, but it doesn't matter. That Deadeye is still claiming some victims, and the defense will hold. But look at this. 2 ticks picked up. Nobody contested through all that.
They were willing to give up 2 ticks to make sure that they won the fight. And I mean, with the damage that was coming out, I mean, I can hardly blame them a little bit. Bull Skunk, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you had the tank configuration coming out, and the amp or the immortality field as well. So, I mean, they had their work cut out for them. I'm surprised that they did not lose the entire point.
But now it's 4 minutes to pick up a third of this objective. His kills come through from both sides. Shots is going to drop the attack visor. Able to pick up 1. Totals 3. He follows up with 2 brilliant kills on the back of it. The Graviton Surge from Axel initiating it all.
Yeah, good defense there from them, only using 2 ultimates into that fight. Axel bringing out, well, I thought he was going to the Sigma. I got baited. We're going to see the Wrecking Ball now. Cookie Cam going off of the Bastion. The damage has been done with the Omnic damage dealer. Now bringing out the Cowboy. Splice going over to the Echo as well. So they've made a little bit of a compositional shift, trying to deal with this high ground brawl that's being dealt to them.
Both Shatters online as we get the main tank battle up front. Atomics gets blocked. Now he's got to be prepared for trees. Oh, but Tree eats a flashbang and a fan the hammer afterwards. Is in a lot of trouble. That Shatter gets blocked. Both of them go to waste. The counter charge is there. Both Reinhardt stand up, but there's a bubble. That Zarya diff coming through, and it's going to force the Duskerity's defense down to the low ground. Shots is able to find a pair of kills, though, and it will get res back up. So it's a 6v4 favoring this defense. BDE are sticking around in this fight, though, Billy.
They are, and Kempo in the interim gets another amplification matrix ready to go. Anderson is shots coming up close. What a flashbang from Annie Cookie Camp, taking down the main tank. The shielding is gone, or at least half of the shielding is gone. Axel, though, coming up close on this Gravitic Flux. They got to make the rotation down to the point. There's not a lot of time to spare here.
No, there's not, and there's 2 tank ults for the defense to contend with, and they don't even contest. They were scared away. It was a stern look and a grab into the wall, and BDE just walk right in and claim that final 33%.
A stern look.
Did you like that? They just stared him down. And nobody came close. They were too scared.
The snarl from the Zarya. She launches her grab into the wall.
She made some scary noises. Oh, man.
They could have touched and at least contested for a second or something. I think the flashbang there from Annie Cookie Cam in conjunction with Orinji's amp matrix, right? Or I'm sorry, immortality field, just gave them all the momentum that they needed to push through there, and it was just Dunsky from there. I'm surprised they did not touch. I'm a little shocked they didn't touch, but defensively now coming out. Gosh, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of the night. A stern look and a grab into the wall.
It's one of my best calls ever. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Billy.
Okay, but getting to the defense. We're looking at Ryan Zarya again. A little bit of spam and poke coming in. If I put it poke, it'd sound like a Hawaiian dinner. Fluffy bringing out the Ana again to bring the anti-nades to bear, and Orenji there to res people up should they need it.
Looks like a little cheese strat coming out from the other side. They're going to attempt the Bastion Sim strat as well, double shield. So just kind of looking to get this set up. This is, I don't know, this is an interesting look as they're going to teleport up to the top and try to cheese this out. There's got to be a clever, this is like mobile pirate ship, this is like the airship, we'll say. As they're just going to float through the sky and get themselves onto the back of the objective. They do still have this Junkrat to deal with. Oh, and Junkrat just drops into a very bad spot. Shots with a pair of kills to start things off. The res does come through, but Origi does go down in the process. Can still crowd make good use of it. No, there's just still a Bastion out there pouring so much damage across this objective. BDE has no safe place to go.
Ooh, that was rapidly fast as well. So we'll see what is brought there. That just fed a little bit more ult charge to I Am Tree's Shatter coming up. Cookie Cam, though, does get Dragon Strike in online. So moving in here now, I want to see how they decide to path this. Are they going to stay with the Symmetra from Andrewson? If they do, tank configuration is only 6%. I'm sorry, 2% off here now. So yeah, if they decide to go top of the pavilion there, they might have a chance to get a power play in here. We'll see what they do with it.
Dragon's out over the teleporter. Duskerity's able to drop down out of harm's way. Charge into the back will take shots down, and now it's a lot of trouble for Trey. He's just going to get burned down by the... Oh, no. 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 That was too late, Shots. The fight was lost. Why are you investing ultimates into this? Why?
Yeah, and you're just feeding ultimates all the way around right now, and somebody's stuck up there.
It's an Orisa.
It's Orisa. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is gonna be, Tree's coming back is gonna find a kill, but the spawn advantage is just so good. The couple of kills that Duskerity did get during that engagement, they're gonna be back here in the battle. Supercharger and Amp Matrix down. That's 150% extra damage. Photon Barrier to dissect the objective. Nano Boost goes down on an Atomic Man who's gonna go into the back and try to take care of the Hanzo, or excuse me, of that Baptiste. Does find the kill onto the Baptiste. Axel falls as well. The Shatter over the comes down and will take care of Renji, but now there's a tire and a grab out, and it's just gonna be too much for the attacking Duskerity to handle. That was a chaotic fight if I've ever seen one. Ults thrown in from both sides, but as the dust settles, the defense hold, not giving up any progress.
Yeah, that was a broken fight at best. That was a very weird usage of the supercharger on top of the little pavilion there, the little shrine there at the back of the point. It was kind of smart, though. I was actually impressed with it. You had two different directions of amplified shots coming in, but they just couldn't find the focus fire to take them down.
And it almost looked like they got a little anxious. You know, perhaps they should just sat back and utilize the 150% extra damage and try to get more value out of that. But in the end, you know, they move in, they lose to a Graviton Surge Tire, no shame in that. They're going to find Cookie right out of the gate. Shots does have this Deadeye ready to go. He's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. This could be bad. Yeah, Renji's going to go down. Shield gets broke. The other shot makes it through. Splice is in a lot of trouble, down to 1 health. So is Still Crowd. They fall right into the path of that Peacekeeper. Dragon's thrown out over the point, but Duskerity easily avoid that and continue to find success. 50% picked up on this objective already as Shots is going to take MT6 down. Tree's going to find one, and just a Lucio trying to stall. Sound Barrier is there, though. That's going to land on Still Crowd, who's out on the Divas. We're getting the stall comp coming through. Wrecking Ball on the point as well. Axel knocked down to the bottom, so you don't have to worry about the Orisa for a moment. But that Orisa will return momentarily with a Supercharger ready to go. Shots is going to find 3, including both supports. Now the Supercharger's out, and yet another. The second Deadeye of this fight from Shots. That's going to take Atomic out of the battlefield. 93% picked up, and the rest is about to come through. Renji's going to try to stall for as long as possible as the tanks return into the battle, but this looks like a foregone conclusion to me, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. They just got the Tracer to deal with. He gets a kill on Anderson, so that is huge. But it's rest up. Splice.
Splice is able to find one, but I feel like there's still a couple to contend with. You do still have Shots in the back, putting down shots with the McCree. Anderson on the side with the tire coming out over the objective now. Is going to look for the Wrecking Ball. Will find that kill. Now Andrew's going to move in from the flank and just provide too much damage for BDE to work through. And Duskerity put up a comparable time bank. It's 36 seconds less than that set by BDE, but Duskerity still with a great clapback.
If you're thinking about a multi-kill on point A, it'll take about approximately 20 seconds to get everybody respawned in and back to the archway. So it could be one more push. One more coordinated push if you're looking at it from the side of BDE, but Duskerity Void never say die attitude there. They had some huge combo plays coming there. Shots absolutely popping off there on point B. Oh man, this is living up to be a very highly billed game, as we were told. And I mean, we get extra innings out of this. I'm never disappointed with extra innings. And are we gonna see a draw for the second night on Hanamura?
It's entirely possible, Billy. Hanamura could be rearing its ugly head. It could be moving into map 4 with still a tie score line. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Both teams with,
I always do that.
with 2 minutes plus to work with. So there's time for ults to come online for each of these attacking squads. Which means you don't have to force anything. You can wait, you can bank up that time. And rack up those ultimates. We are going to get the Sim Bastion strat once again as the gates open on extra innings.
Yeah, but this time you've got Splice up in the high ground, raining in some sticky bombs, building up towards that duplicate. We'll see if they have the rotation there. I think they recognize that there is a Symmetra on the field, and they're moving back to the point. Looking at any cookie cam right now, 82% to the tire. That's going to be a massive denier tool there if I've ever seen one.
Splice up there trying to deny this high ground. He's going to land the stickies over the bash and the focusing beam. Oh, that was a dangerous move, but it also allowed Cookie Cam room to work. Was just circling him like a vulture. And now he's going to go ahead and chase shots right off the side. But any Cookie Cam, the real hero there, recognizing the sim strats and bringing that Junkrat to the table.
You know, and a nasty little sleep from Fluffy onto I Am Tree, and they just finished it off right there. Splice getting the sticky bombs onto him into the boot. But, you know, looking at ultimates, I mean, you've got the tire online, so that's going to be a time denier right there. Shots is not too far off from the tank configuration, so he might be able to get that built up.
Nice shot from Shots. Will take out the tire. That's huge. But the Immortality Field was used in the meantime, as we have a duplicate Reinhardt on the battlefield right now. But Splice not able to fight a whole lot with that, but got in a little deep. That was a little aggressive there, Splice. Now you got to deal with shots coming through with this tank configuration. And Atomic just eats a mortar shell right to the dome. Here comes Splice, trying to find some revenge for the Reinhardt. Rez does come through. Anderson does punish Renji, but Atomic's back on his feet. Shatter in from Atomic. He's able to get one, but will give his life over in the process. The Ant Matrix there to protect the attacking Duskerity as they look to put their third point on the board.
Niku do a protect there and getting lots of value into it. And, you know, now we're moving in 30 seconds to do something with this attack phase. You know, I Am Tree might get a shatter up here. If Axel really plays the cards right and lots of alternate fire, you might be able to get a grab into this. We'll see what they got. But Nano Boost is online just about now. You've got grab, and you're having another tire from Cookie.
Coming in off the high ground. Shots once again deals with it. Ready for it, but gets slept. Gets bombarded. And Cookie Cam takes out the backline damage. Now it's just the tanks up front. Rez does come through onto the Bastion, and so does a Graviton Surge from Duskerity. Or excuse me, that was a BDE Graviton Surge. No, I had it right the first time. I don't need to second guess myself, Billy, and there's no second guess in the shots. Was able to get those kills, and it might have given just enough time for this tank line to do something, but no! It's going to be the Diva getting the defense matrix, able to find a kill. Does eventually get demeched and deleted by Anderson on the high ground. But I think taking the Reinhardt down might have been just enough for BDE to hold on here.
I mean, they've almost got a tick going on here. And we see Nico coming in on the Lucio, trying to keep Axel up. Axel goes down in a heap. That's going to do it right there. No permanent progress made. They had it almost to 33% there, Bullskunk. It was just a couple of meters difference from them getting one tick on point B, and you know, making sure that we don't go draw Namura here, but it has happened. So all to play for here for BDE. How are they going to path onto the point? Do they bring out the Symmetra Bastion strat again? And what do Duskerity Void bring out in defense here? They've got to hold for, you know, to avoid a draw, they've got to hold out for at least 2 minutes. And that just depends on what kind of ultimates will be coming online for BDE. Defensively, looking at them now, Anderson, we know them as a Junkrat player from last season. So I know the value is going to be there on that. The same kind of weird hybrid double shield variant. Shots, no reason to get off the Bastion. We saw a lot of good play out of them. I think they might have gotten out of position a couple of times. And whether they left themselves vulnerable to sleeps, to antis, to the absolutely raining hell from Cookie Cam on the Junkrat. So we'll see how they progress here as BDE gets ready to come out of the gates. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. Fluffy, yeah. Don't even worry about playing anything other than Ana, because you've been rocking it all night, my friend.
Absolutely. Splice back on the Echo as well. Excellent performance to deal with the Bastion so far throughout Hanamura. Can that continue? Flying through the window, just looking for some off-angle action. They're going to try to divide up the defense, divide their attention, grab some aggro, but decided didn't want too much of it. Just going to back it out of there. Cookie Cam's pushing a position as well. I like what BDE are doing here. They're slowly but surely just surrounding the objective and waiting for the time to strike. Cookie Cam moves up to the window to try to put some shots down. The Storm Arrows came out. No, he does still have those online. Waiting to use those on that Bastion, waiting for that right shot. Gets wed down. Immortality Field out early. That was a beautiful Immortality Field. I think that kept Anderson alive just there, as Duskerity had been forced out into this small patio area. Rez comes through, but Atomic comes in as well, charging down, shatter in. Axel fortifies, but there's still just too much damage. And it's going to be BDE picking up point A, getting that 3rd point. Yeah, this is looking very drawable, Billy.
Oh, there's a little bit of a what Phil called he called it tactical calisthenics
I like it. I like it.
instead of the crouch.
Right, right.
So
Doing some
yeah,
squats.
doing some squats. Minute 44. Not a bad time to be able to get in through here. And Ultimate's going to be coming up online in a hurry for them. Any Cookie Camp and Splice both close to their thing. They've got Duplicate online. Do you go for the Zarya here? Do you go for the Rhine?
Goes for the Reinhardt, as a matter of fact. And he's going to sit behind that and make sure to try to not allow him to set up. He's going to throw it on the Shatter and hits Axel with that one. Still Crowd is there to pick up that kill as well. Rez comes through onto Tree, and the Mercy able to get out with that Valkyrie, but there's only 2 members of the defense left standing, and this is looking less and less drawable indeed. BDE will pick up Hanamura and take the 2-1 lead in our series.
Oh, that was disgusting. What a great duplicate once again from Splice, picking the right hero at the right time and using those abilities at the perfect moment. That Shatter absolutely decimated any kind of a recontest coming in. He just laid that Shatter down and went up the stairs and just flattened everybody. And then Axel was there to do cleanup duty, and cleanup they did. They take the 2-1 lead now as we head to Havana next. And boy, it's back and forth. You know, I mean, Duskerity Void came out strong out of the gates, and we had a kind of a wishy-washy Hollywood. But here in Hanamura, they brought their A game once again, and they just got barely nudged out. And I think that going into Havana, you know, Cookie Cam showing us the Hanzo, that could be a massive point of contention for Duskerity Void in their defense or in their attack phase even, especially with the long sidelines on point A. We've seen that he is very skilled with the Archer. And I mean, that's going to be something they're going to have to address. Him and Splice on the Echo, they still haven't really figured out how to deal with it yet. So that's got to be point 1 for them to deal with. Point 2, I mean, I don't mind the Orisa and the Rhine together. I think you get a little bit more of the value out of the Zarya. Maybe even pulling a Hog here, maybe a little bit more self-sustain. Maybe being able to pull the Echo or the Hanzo out of their perches or out of the sky might be another way for them to address what's going on right now, because they're just getting swarmed from multiple angles. You saw it on point A, and I mean, they just absolutely collapsed on top of the unwitting heads of Duskerity Void. They didn't know which way to turn. Their heads were on the swivel, and they ended up going off into the death.
BDE was very patient on that last attack as well. Something else I would like to highlight, I was very impressed with. Just waiting for that right opportunity and slowly putting pressure onto the Bastion comp, not rushing into it. And what that allowed, I mean, it forced Duskerity to kind of move out in that courtyard, and then BDE saw their opportunity. Then they pounced. It gave time for Atomic to get to that Earthshatter built up and just charge through, and ends up just swinging with reckless abandon. That was a beautiful attack on that extra innings point A for Big Deck Energy, of course.
I mean, it took them less than a minute. I mean, because they had 2:36 on the clock, and they went into point, or started progressing towards point B at 1:44. I guess they had the 30 seconds added on to it, so maybe a minute 20 it took them to take point A. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Well, we're not going to waste any time. Let's just keep this rolling. I'm anxious to get into this. I'm anxious to get into map 4. Havana has been an interesting one, all week long. You can play a lot of different things here, but for what has been very brawl-heavy meta throughout Tier 2, Havana, it can be a very difficult place to brawl. You've got such long sight lines, it can be very difficult to close that gap. I'm curious to see if compositions change. I'm curious to see what we get. I'm expecting to see more of that Hanzo. The Junkrat not as viable here. I'm expecting to see the Hanzo come back out from Cookie Cam in particular.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that we can address here, we saw it last night with Tier 2, the forward hold. We saw a team get a massive forward hold, and then they were able to break through, and then we saw them complete the entire rest of the map. And then we saw a broken attempt at a forward hold, and they didn't even capture point A. So, you know, the brawl, once you get past this first corner and you start moving around towards the open doors of the closed door of the distillery,
they didn't swap.
That's where
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wait. Switch sides.
Naughty, naughty. Kempo coming in to the DPS role for the defense here, off the healer role, and we're bringing in Neon Y back in to the support line. Axel and I'm Tree still running the tank lines for Duskerity Void.
Stop the payload.
Double sniper. Hanzo down low, Widow up high. We're getting double sniper from both sides. So it's... And you don't have a permanent shield to sit behind, so make shots like that. Real easy for shots. As I say real easy. I couldn't land that. That was a beautiful headshot. That was consistent. That was clean. And now I was trying to follow it up onto Walter. Cookie Cam's going to go ahead and move over to the Ash in lieu of losing that Widowmaker battle. But Kempo's going to pick up a pair of kills, and the defense are going to start off strong once again for Duskerity.
Oh, Shot Skizzy, another damage boost to kill on the Still Crowd, and this is a good start for them. You know, having lost the last two maps, they need to make a strong statement here in Havana. And, you know, I think that, you know, if they can hold here, really put up a good statement, hold, it might go better into their mental. Let's see what Still Crowd's going to do here. Are they going to swap to... Nope, they're going to bring out the Sigma. So that is a bit different coming out of them.
Pushing forward, just marking the flank right now, but Kempo and Shot still have free reign down in main. Each finding a kill, and the offense struggling to even get out of the gate. And this is what I was talking about, Billy. It can be so tough for this Reinhardt composition to close this gap. Yeah, you've got a Reinhardt on the backside, but the defense is playing poke for sure. And it's you're relying and putting a lot of pressure on the DPS of BDE to make something happen. The Nanoboost comes through, but the Shatter is right there. And the anti-nade, so despite the early healing, I'm Tree forced back out of the fight. But Shots and Kempo are continuing to hit the heads of BDE.
What you missed there was the fact that Still Crowd ate the Dragon Strike of Kempo.
Oh, nice.
That was a huge ultimate taken off the battlefield right there. Good God. Kempo and Shots right now are making life hell. They're not allowing anybody to play the game. Oof. I think right now, you know, if you want to address the Widowmaker, bring a Tracer to bear. Get the Tracer there, get a couple of double blinks, get up into their face, and then just start raining hell, because, I mean, you're not going to get the same value with the SMG that you are with the scope sights. I mean, come on. Just swap it up just for a little bit, bring that into it, and we'll see what you can get.
The Nanoboost comes down onto Atomic, and they are able to find that kill. I was worried because they were anti and didn't get the healing. They were low health pushing in. And finally, Cookie Cam and Walter are able to get their names on the right side of that kill feed. I guess the left side. The correct side is what I was intending. And this cart is finally starting to roll. Just took a little ult through the front, and they're able to round that corner and kind of get through those sight lines. But I'm Tree with a big shatter down. Both shatters coming out, actually, but it's the defense landing the fatty of the Shaddies and able to get 4 or 5 kills on the back of it.
Yeah, that's a wipe right there, other than the moth in the sky. And I mean, they did invest quite a bit into it, though. They invested the Shatter, they invested the Nano Boost, and also the Dragons. So, you know, a little bit of an advantage right now going into this next fight. Still Crowd has the Flux, no defensive ult to be able to take care of that. So they're going to have to hope that they can weather the storm of this Flux coming through.
That Flux could be huge. Do have that Valve to deal with it, or at least to try to help top people off after the fact, but still, I mean, half damage to the whole team. You know, somebody could end up very vulnerable if Duskerity is able to pounce. Or if BDE is able to pounce, that is, and they do indeed. Tree pounced upon. Valve comes out, and they will get the res. They are able to get the res. The shots don't quite land. Fury is doing a good job of keeping shots... Excuse me, Fluffy was doing a good job of keeping shots in check in the back, but I'm Tree is ruling the front, and Duskerity are threatening a full holder. In fact, they've done it. They have denied BDE on Havana. 0 points on the board.
My God, Bullskunk. I mean, the fact that Cookie Cam got up to the high ground and displaced Shots, that was the right move. I still think that a Tracer could have done a lot better, and it could have done more to really interrupt the backline of Duskerity Void and the defense, because, I mean, Shots and Kempo were just owning the field. They were really uncontested a lot, through the first phase here, and I just the comp wasn't right. They couldn't brawl just the way that they wanted to. I thought the wrecking ball was a smart switch for both sides, especially for the offense. They started getting a little bit of traction with it, but it was just too little, too late. The ultimate battle was definitely in the against them, and so now they're gonna have to try and really, match what we saw come out of them. And if you are BDE, you've got to get aggressive here. You've got to make sure your sight lines are covered. Let's see if we get the mirror, what we saw coming out of Duskerity Void on that defense. It looks like we might have a damage boosted Ashe going in here, so that's not a bad play. You can amp that TNT damage as well. Fluffy still doing Fluffy things and really kept the team up a lot longer than I thought they could, using Root the Nano in exquisite fashion when they really needed it the most. And the anti-nades, once again, were just absolutely massive.
Yeah, I don't know if, I think BDE might have gotten thrown off their game plan. I feel like if Splice was so good on this Echo, if you were wanting to go Echo, why did you pull Walter back in? I mean, questions in my head, perhaps the better of the snipers for the attack. But props to Kimpo. Did a great job coming off of the support role into the damage role. It did a wonderful job of the attack. Now picking up the soldier as Duskerity looking to tie up the series, looking to send us to that map 5.
That bubbles out from Still Crowd now, so those are not on the field. Try to get the Mercy out of the field, but Walter taking the first blood there with the sticky bombs, getting a lot of value here, 61% and counting on this Echo.
Yep, now going to go to try to burn down Tree. Speaking of burning, they're all on fire. The Dynamite came over the top, and Cookie Cam's building up some more ult percentage to try to hold this. 60 seconds off the clock.
Still Crowd starting to find the range with the alternate fire as well, starting to build up towards that all-important Graviton Surge. Fluffy getting a lot of value on this Ana once again, and we'll see what they do. Ball into the back, though. Axel's going to be able to get back there and start to just get the disruption that you need to have.
Beautiful play there from Fluffy. Is that Bionade just denied a lot of the value there, but the DPS is still picking up the slack. Kimpo's able to find one. Walter's clapping back here, though. Oh, but shots landed the kill on the Still Crowd. And this attack is starting to find a little room to work. They've got to back up and regroup, but they'll have the advantage pushing back in.
I think if Neon Y goes over to a Lucio and speeds them in right now, that changes the complete value and color of this battle. But attack fires are online. Shatter goes out, finds nothing.
And now Atomic has one of their own. Tree just take Fluffy out of the back. That could have been the nail in the coffin right there. Bob up top. I don't think that's where Cam wanted it. I think Cookie Cam wanted that down below. But Bob gets stuck on the corner. Kimpo finds that kill. Tree, whoa, they're just going for a ride over there as the Reinhardts are going on a bit of a tour of Havana. And, I mean, what a kidnap. Atomic, there's just no way you get any healing back there. Axel returns to the objective with the mines in hand. Kimpo picks up a kill and he's going to drop the attack visor to try to close this thing out. Takes down Fluffy for the second time. Fluffy just has no room to work on the Ana, recognizing the power of that healer. Once the Ana was off the battlefield, Duskerity are able to move in. They're able to claim the point and tie up the series. We're going to map 5, Billy.
We are going to map 5. Hell yes. And, Renji actually brought out the Lucio that I wanted to see come out of Duskerity Void, but Duskerity Void just went ahead and ran what they had. I think that kidnap of Atomic Man by I Am Tree, taking him around the corner with the pin, taking all value out and denying any kind of res ability that they had. We didn't know that Renji was going to swap over to the to the Lucio at that point. But yeah, that's some serious aggression coming out from Duskerity. And man, this is a banger, my friend. Who's going to have the momentum going into control? Duskerity won the first control point.
And this could really shake things up in the standings. If Duskerity can pull out this dub, they'll have the bye next week. They'll put a loss in the column, put a 1 in the loss column of BDE. If they can pull it out, BDE trying to keep their perfect season alive. Can they do it? We'll find out when we return on Nepal. Or on Lijiang Tower, excuse me.
Yeah.
We're all tied up, 2-2. one map to decide who will take this week 8 matchup between Big Duck Energy and Duskerity Void. Duskerity Void looking to clinch that playoff spot here. And they had an excellent hold on Havana, showing off their versatility, showing off some wicked aim.
Man, the double sniper absolutely just destroyed what the brawl comp of BDE was trying to do there, my friend. And yeah, the versatility of the players right now. I mean, are you kidding me? Going up, at times a 3-player advantage, absolutely just pog. And I'm pleased to see it. I mean, Li Zhang, how are they going to deploy their team this time? I was not expecting to see a support go over to the DPS role and absolutely frag the you-know-what out.
Or your DPS go to your tank role. After Hollywood, where we saw Backward kind of got dumped on a little bit, not going to lie. That was the Atomic show there on Hollywood, certainly on the defense. And then you got Tree picking up the mantle of the Reinhardt and did a fantastic job. I mean, they have showed some extreme versatility on this team. Will it be enough? Big Duck Energy have not dropped a series yet this entire season, and they certainly don't want that to start now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the kidnap pin is something that I'm going to remember for a long time.
That was good.
I was looking at the chat in between our maps there, and they said that they thought Atomic had pinned first, but nay, it was I Am Tree and took him all the way around the corner. Also, just a little bit of greediness here. Guys, if you guys have channel points, go down to the bottom where you claim your points. Click on it and see. It should be right above where you click to redeem stuff. Boost this channel. Let's get Bullskunk's name out there, because that's what I'm saying, and I can do it because I have a microphone right here. And I'm saying it. Boost this channel. Let's get him up to 9,500 points and get this channel boosted. It'll show up bigger in the Twitch streams, and let's get some more people in here to watch some damn good Overwatch.
There's been quite a few people contributed that already, and I really appreciate it. Big shout out to Carrot as well for mentioning it in chat. It's awesome. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to us both here. So thank you all for the support, increasing the visibility of the channel. I mean, it's huge. It's so important for the growth. So thank you all very much. Anyway, on to the point at hand. Lijiang Tower, map 5, tiebreaker between these two tier 2 powerhouses.
Yeah, man, this could go either way. Both sets of DPS, regardless of who is on it, have been popping off all day. So, I mean, I think that if you're looking at Control Center, I might put the slight advantage towards BDE with the Junkrat play of any Cookie Cam. Because he's just been doing such a phenomenal job all day. The other points, though, the Symmetra play was good from both sides. So, I mean, that could work to either team's favor. At Night Micro, I think that Garden is going to be where it's all decided. I think we're going 3 maps here. I think that, I think BDE, if we go out first on to wherever we're going to, because I don't have it up right now. We're going to Night Market first, so I think this is actually going to be a split decision here. It depends on who gets onto the point first and who has the better brawl.
Both are using teleporters to get into that window. And both, well, it's actually BDE arriving first, but Reggie drops. Shots falls out of the sky, raining shots from above. Kempo quickly picks up 2. 2 do go back the other way, but it's not going to be enough to bring back this first engagement. Duskerity will start off with first control.
Ooh, boy, and it's an immortality field difference right there. Niku bringing out this Baptiste, and that kept them up. It allowed them to get the first aggression going in there. They were able to swing and shoot with impunity, and then the healing was there. Everything else was there. There was a couple of slapback kills, but, that's how this goes. Now, look at Splice getting aggressive on this Echo. We'll see how they address this. Let's see if they can get the sticky bomb work going on.
Duskerity with first control, so important in what could be their toughest matchup of the regular season. They won Nepal. Can they do it again? Ant Matrix out from Niku Fury in the back. And Axel's able to find one with that. Nice left trigger. Double damage on a juiced up Zarya. I mean, that's just going to hurt. And now pressing forward, trying to push that advantage. Atomic got a little bit out of position. I think trying to get a charge kill, but gets caught out. And this is just going to be another reset from BDE.
But I am tree 94% shatter. Still crowd though. Still crowd and Axel almost even in the Zarya battle. We talked about this in the beginning. This has been a counterpoint for the entire day. The off-tank battles. The main tank battle is just as good.
Yeah, and still crowd's going in. Dave Coalescence at their back, and 3 kills immediately light at the feed. Cookie Cam getting 2 of them. There goes Axel taking Cookie Cam off the point. Said, I've had enough of you in your 6-shooter, but unfortunately, there's no more teammates standing for Duskerity, and BDE will flip the objective.
They had to invest ultimates into that, my friend. They had to invest the Coalescence, so that is off the board. You're going into 5 for them to retake this point. Dueling Gravs are going to be on the battlefield here. Cookie Cam coming close to this first Deadeye. I think he's going to get a lot of value out of it. Shots has it online right now.
Ult economy in Duskerity's favor, and they're showing it there. 2 kills from the Deadeye. Shots is going to pick up 1 from the outside as well. Brilliant play. Shots stayed on the outline. Did not take the teleporter in and was able to get the Deadeye from afar. But it took all 5 of those ultimates to make it happen, Billy.
I think that they use this amp matrix aggressively to help build up towards more ultimates. If they do that, they might have a chance to get closer. There it goes, coming through. Not any value being shown, and Niku going down for his troubles.
Oh, his Axel was stuck in the corner. Gets hit by the Deadeye. Nice flash headshot to follow it up. Now looking to take Neon down as well. We'll find that kill. And using only the 1 ult, BDE, or okay, they did use Sound Barrier as well, forgive me. So using 2 ults, BDE reclaimed the point, and now they have flipped the economy entirely.
They absolutely have the closest one. I mean, there's 2 close at 60+% for Duskerity. We'll see if Tree can work up to a shatter in a hurry, but the duplicate from Splice is going to be the big one. Who do they go with? Do they go for the Reinhardt again?
Ooh, Shatter is down, but Shots is able to get the flashbang in and interrupt too much follow-up. Splice is going to duplicate the Reinhardt. Goes in, puts Tree in a corner with a little help from that Coalescence at their back. Do have the Graviton Surge coming up, but they're probably just going to save that for the next fight, as Axel is just looking to get out of here with that 100 charge. It's going to burn down Splice along the way, though.
Yeah, and I mean, getting out of there in a hurry using that Zarya tech to aggress out of there. So you've got Deadeye, Grav, and Shatter online. You might be able to go in on tempo with the Sound Barrier that OO just got. Oh, huge work there from him.
And Grav out as well. No Sound Barrier needed just yet. They're just going to go and take the point. They're going to save that Sound Barrier for a better occasion. Maybe even take it to the next round. You don't need that extra shielding. Yeah, well, Cookie Cam comes back onto the objective, and no such luck. Duskerity, 1 round closer to upsetting the undefeated BDE.
Boy, I'm not sure what the diff was there, other than just complete and utter beautiful ultimate economy. The combos that went in there, great Deadeyes from both sides. I have to admit, any Cookie Cams was good as well. He also got the follow-up off after his Deadeye. But I think the sustain, I think it was a little bit of a BAP difference there. That immortality field, denying a lot of the progress. Denying a lot of progress that BDE were looking for there. And they're facing their first match point against this season.
5, 4, 3.
Fury sticking with the BAP. I anticipate, well, we're just going to get the sim strat from one side. First control on guards is probably the most important round of all the control maps, because it's such a stally map. And you can just build that percentage all the way up, even if you lose a subsequent fight, as long as you get first control. And indeed, Duskerity are going to plant their flag on the objective. But might get hooked out of it. Neon, woo, just narrowly avoiding death as Steelcrad lands a nice hook, but Shots takes down Splice, pulling the Echo out of the sky.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the first point to them for sure. But Eddie Cookie Cam starting to build up towards this barrage. Nice flash. Kempo and getting sped in there, I think, was a speed difference. Now, look at the supports. The support choices that are being used by Duskerity Void right now. They sped in to the fight, got Kempo on top of the tanks, and just obliterated them there. Shots is going to have to watch his mark, though, for this Pharah in the sky. 43% to barrage. And there is a good counter right there for the ball.
Yeah, it just shows you how much the respect they're showing to Axel right now as they bring the Sombra out to try to deal with them. over back on main. There's a lot of rockets being poured down, but Tree and Kempo winning the frontline battle, able to find a pair of kills. Shots is going to pick up one as well. Deadeye in hand, but doesn't even need it for this fight. Duskerity have already won it.
Yeah, and they scared off Splice too on this Sombra. So, I mean, the comms are going to have to be good coming out of Axel right now on this ball. When he gets hacked, they're going to have to be able to peel back for him and let him get the heals that he needs. Mine's coming up online for Atomic Man, 95% and counting. Looking for the EMP coming out. There's the Deadeye online. Does he pull the trigger?
Ooh, Splice! What a shot! Splice just pokes her head out at the wrong time. Flash Fan will take Cookie down. Rez is up. Tree has fallen, so there's a lack of shielding now on the battlefield for Duskerity, but they do have a man advantage in this fight. They're looking to pressure down Still Crowd, but the barrage comes in from behind! They didn't see it coming, and neither did I. 2 kills for any Cookie Cam, and BDE are right back in this thing. Atomic is going to find one as well, and now Axel is hacked and in trouble. Tree has returned, and the stall will commence, as I was talking about earlier. Trying to get this thing up to 99. Duskerity, you're going to throw the Immortality Field down and keep Tree standing as long as possible.
Matrix as well, so that's going to take him off the field. There's mines available, but he goes down in a heap. Oh, Death Blossom comes out from Kempo, takes down the Mercy. This is a lot of back and forth right now, but it is being...
3 kills for Kempo. And Overtime Witch starts to burn, and the fight is certainly swapped. Flipped over. The EMP is out, but it's way too late. There's nobody there to follow up on it. Duskerity are moments away from completing the upset, from giving BDE their very first loss of the regular season, shaking up the playoff picture, but BDE are done. They've got Coalescence. They're coming back in on this point. Atomic is there as well as he goes rolling through the window, trying to spin to win, but there's mines all over the point. And Fluffy goes down, and that is it. Duskerity, for the second time, win control in this series, and for the first time of any team, take BDE down in multi-tier tournament fall 2020.
Where is my margarita shaker? Because that just shook up the entirety of Division 3 here in the Tier 2 NA Xbox multi-tier tournament Season 8. What a bloody, fabulous battle that was, my friend. Back and forth all night long. The clapback going down 1-2, going into Havana, and then they just pulled out their secret weapon, which is taking your support and putting them into DPS. Man, and then he showed up again on the Reaper. Kempo showing up, showing out. My goodness, that was a hell of a match. That was a hell of a way to start our doubleheader as well, my friend.
What a play! I mean, and we were talking about the Still Crowd versus Axel matchup all day long, and I think Axel kind of rose on top there, perhaps proving Atomic correct as far as the 2 and 3 rankings, because Axel's ball was phenomenal on that map, and a big reason that they were able to pull that out. I loved the Baptiste play as well. The Immortality Field usage was just awesome, just so good.
Yeah. Mwah.
And I think we're going to have to revisit our playoff picture looking at this. So, Big Duck Energy falling to 7-1. Duskerity will finish the season 7-2. So, they're, obviously we're still waiting on some Week 9 results from BDE and Atlas. But Duskerity have jumped into 3rd place. And I believe have sealed the deal. Like, they're not going to get taken out. Like, they have clinched their playoff berth. Mathematically, they are moving on. There's no way they're going to get eliminated now off of this big, big win.
Yeah, that's just absolutely fantastic work from them. Oh man, the rush to the end of this Division 3. We know where they're going to end up at. They're going to end up at 7-2. Do Atlas take another loss? Do Lucky 13s? I mean, they jump ahead. So they're going to be absolutely in 3rd place, guaranteed.
Yep.
Will they be in 2nd place or 3rd place? That's going to be the real question here. And fantastic work. Oh my God, this was a hell of a match. I am so glad we got to cast this on a Monday night.
Oh, yeah, it's a hell of a way to start off our double header, but we are not done. We are going to take a quick break, set up for our 2nd series of the night, but when we come back, we have got Apollo 4 taking on Tribulation, 2 undefeated teams in the Tier 4 division, both of them with only 2 map losses on the season. They are neck and neck on paper. We're going to return with some more console Overwatch multi-tier tournament in just a few. Don't go anywhere.